Well, I'm just gonna get kicked off. People might still be joining. And that's absolutely fine. Welcome everyone. It's really exciting. I've been looking forward to this for so many weeks. It's really great to be doing this session. If this is your first Ticket Training Tuesday, then a special welcome to you. This is actually our second season of this web show, and yeah, it's really great to be back with a few new things, some of the kind of same formats, but some things have changed up as well, which is really exciting. Yeah, very welcome to you wherever you're coming from. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. I'm going to get rolling through our slides here. If you're not familiar with Ticket Training Tuesdays format, it's your first one, you'll be pleased to hear that the format is, first of all, very casual, very laid back. Please come off mute if you want to ask a question, if you've got something, or use the chat. Either is fine. And also, we tend to have a few slides just to kind of focus us, but we can try and keep it demo heavy and interactive and sort of fun and engaging. So I've got a few slides to get through, but we will get into some demo stuff as well. Here's our little agenda for today. I've done a welcome, but I've got several to go, so bear with me. But it's really great to have everyone with us. I'll do the housekeeping whilst I mention it, because I don't have a slide for that. The meeting is being recorded and will be available afterwards on YouTube. So if you would rather not be on that, then stay on mute. If you're fine to show your face, show your voice, then you're very welcome. We are going to cover a few things new at Saracen. You may see some new logos, new branding, new colors, and some other things I've got to talk about there. We're going to cover what's new in Tikit. So there's been a lot of changes since we've been off the air as such, since we finished season 1 in October. So I'm just going to cover something at a high level, because we're going to have some deeper dives on some of those topics throughout this series. I'll get into some demo of all those things, and then we do have time at the end for any questions. All right, so yes, here we are, Ticket Training Tuesday. It's informative, but it's fun. That's the goal. So yeah, please interact with us if you want. For those that don't know me, I recognise a lot of names on this call, so it's great to see all these names I know. But for those that don't know me, I'm Jeff, part of the customer success team at Saracen. And yeah, I like collared shirts apparently, white or pink. And yeah, I'm based in the UK. So I tend to engage with our European customers a lot, but lots of the US customers as well. I know I've worked with and recognize these names. Okay, I'm going to get straight into what's new at Saracen. So first of all, the name Saracen might be not super familiar to some of you if you've kind of known us under the Tikit brand. Well, you're going to see probably more of it coming in front of you over the next few weeks and months. We have got a bit of a new look. It's not actually official yet. I sort of jumped the gun on these slides and my background, so keep it secret. Those of you who follow me on socials will know I'm very good at secrets and never share them with anybody on any kind of videos. But yes, it's a little bit under wraps, but watch this space. Lots of new stuff coming soon around the new look and new branding. And come bring in Tikit as a product under the Saracen name. Coming with that, when that gets rolled out over the next few weeks, we've got a new customer help portal, where it's another way you can get in touch with us if you need any help. The whole team is standing by to kind of interact and engage with you. You can log in there. You can see all the tickets you've raised, add comments, and so on, and log new tickets through that, as well as all the normal ways of chatbot and sending us an email, and there's a form on the website, all those sort of things. All still there. It's just another way for those who prefer a portal. And finally, again, kind of tying up to the new look and the new branding, but we're having a nice push on socials and some really cool, fun stuff coming across our social channels. So please make sure you're following Sarazen on X, on LinkedIn, because we've got some really cool, fun stuff, some competitions, some giveaways, some exciting things like that coming soon. So please, yeah, get involved with us. We want to connect with you in that way. All right. So what's new in the Tikit product? Tikit, hopefully you all know, is our ITSM solution for Microsoft Cloud. So I haven't got obviously time to cover everything new in the last how many months? 5 months, I think it's been since the previous Ticket Training Tuesday. And as I say, we are going to be having deep dives on lots of these topics and many other ones throughout this series. But there's 4 things I wanted to kind of really highlight, sort of major new features and changes in that time. We've got some really cool stuff around date reporting that's come in, and it was a little bit under the radar, that one. Look back through some of the kind of release, not the official release notes, because they're always a bit kind of under the radar, but the kind of announcements and the social media and the emails and that. And that one didn't have such a widespread. So I suspect there's people in this call that are unaware of that. So I'm very excited to kind of show you a bit about that. Some enhancements around life cycles to give you a little bit more control over them, which is very, very cool. That was very much in response to feedback from you, our customer base. We drive most of our product development through customer feedback, through any kind of engagement. Every time we get on a call with you guys, we want to hear, we want to say. We've got a kind of formal roadmap site where you can submit an idea and upvote other people's, and all that drives our development. So yeah, that one is a great testament to that, because that was direct feedback from customers. They love life cycles, didn't quite work for them, so we've brought some enhancements to how that works. And then with that, we've also updated automations to kind of enhance, bring to work alongside that. And then we're going to have a look at that as well. And finally, I'm going to keep this one as very light, because I think it's next week. It's coming very, very soon in the series, is a full deep dive on resolution notes, which was our sort of latest feature release a few weeks ago. Hopefully you've all had a chance to look into it. But again, we have a session next week to kind of really deep dive into it, how it works, what it does, how you can use it, and that sort of thing. So I'm just going to cover it very highly today. And that is it for the slides, really. So without further ado, I'm going to pivot away from them and do some live demo of those 4 things.
The old one?
Bear with me whilst I figure out how to share that properly. All right. I wonder if somebody can just come off mute and confirm you can see my screen, Power BI.
Yeah, got it.
Yeah, thank you. And thanks for the thumbs up. So yes, this is, by the way, this is the very latest Power BI dashboard template. So this is version 8. So if you're running a version prior to that, then, or 8.1 actually, then make sure you go and download the latest one from the help site. But in fact, this new thing was done actually in the back end of the data model. So you don't actually need the new template to get this, but there's other improvements and actually efficiency, speed and stuff like that in the new version. So make sure you grab the new template if you haven't got that. But what we've done, it's just a few new fields and it's kind of quite simple, but actually really, really powerful. I'm going to scroll through here in my data source. Let's sort of dig deep straight into this, because you're all familiar with this, I hope. If I dig into the tickets data source, then you'll see I've got these 4 date fields that all start with the word first. And it was some things that customers really want to report on. So we've got the first agent comment, the first assignment, the first private agent comment, and the first requester comment, the first end user comment. So we kind of date stamp the ticket by filling a date to those 4 fields when those events happen for the very first time. and that allows you to do some just deeper reporting of what's going on and how things are performing. So for example, here's a very quick visual I threw together with that. So I've then done a calculated column that subtracts the created date from the first agent comment date, convert that into minutes. Hopefully you're measuring that in minutes and not days or weeks. You've got problems, I think if you're measuring that metric in weeks. And yeah, then throw that onto a visual where I'm cross-referencing with the assigned group. So I can see which groups respond quickly and which groups do not. And this is dummy data. Hopefully your data will tell you something very interesting about, where your service is a little bit lacking, where you can focus some efforts to overall improve the service you're providing to your users, and you generally increase that satisfaction that you're delivering to your business. So yeah, those 4 things, simple but very powerful. I say first assignment, also good just to know when does it first get actually assigned to somebody. Same sort of concept. You can calculate the time from created to first assigned and throw it onto a visual. Okay, let's now share for the next window. Okay, so the next thing I want to show you was the lifecycle enhancements. Again, I hope a lot of you are familiar with this, but let's quickly get a ticket logged. I'm going to do one with the lifecycle. I'm going to come to my virtual agent, and I'm going to log for a new employee onboarding. So I need to onboard a new employee. And our virtual agent is going to return our employee onboarding form. And I'm going to get this filled in very quickly. So first name, Chris Smith. You can be the CIO. IT full-time. Obviously, start the day. We only ever get told about new starters on the day of. I'm sure you're familiar with that concept. I have a desktop and a phone. Let's get that submitted. So again, if you're seeing, as I'm jumping over stuff very fast that I'm not necessarily focused on today, if there's something that you're seeing that you don't really know what it is, please do speak up or reach out afterwards. Because I've not got time to kind of go through all this, but that was our custom form to drive our onboarding process. That's created ticket 244. Let's open that up and have a look at it. So I'm going to open it up in the agent portal instead. Refresh my ticket list here. There it is, 244. And this ticket has a life cycle. Now this is the very similar. I've actually modified it slightly, very similar to the out-of-box one. So you've all got this in your tenants, I hope. Now what we've got in our first phase is an approval, and the approval is not assigned to anybody. Now prior to this, that would kind of leave you in a bit of a dead end. You'd have to have an approver set in the template or use some complex Power Automate. Well, it's not that complex if you know what you're doing, but it's a bit of work to understand that, to assign an approver. Now we've got these lifecycle enhancements. You can, in real time, on the fly, edit these life cycles. Now to do that, you do need to be either a super agent or administrator. So super agent is a ticket role. So if you're just a regular agent, you will not be able to do this. If you're a super agent or an admin, then you can edit these approvals and add a name. Let's assign it to myself, an update, and there, that's done. So we've gone from quite a complex process to have to kind of either hard code or approver, or have a complex process to dynamically set it. Now we can just have an agent fill that in, or a super agent, sorry, fill that in to the right approver, and that's now gone and triggered that approval process for whatever this is, onboard, an access request, new device request, whatever it is that needs approval. Likewise, we can actually add whole new approvals or even new tasks as we go on the fly of the life cycle. So if something's changed, a particular use case, an edge case or something like that, then we can add a whole new approval task as we need. Let me get that approved. What we also brought with that, now that's approved, we should transition to the next. I'm going to go for a refresh. Transition to the next phase. And what we've got in there is a few tasks. Here we are, now we're in the next phase. And these tasks now can be assigned. We've got the same kind of multi-dimensional kind of assignment, team, group, individual assignee, and multiple collaborators going on these tasks that can be assigned. That could be someone, within the team of the ticket. It could be someone completely in a separate team. So the ticket could live with IT as a whole, but this particular task could be assigned to another team, HR, facilities, if it's something that they need to do as part of this process. And we've also added failed in as an extra status. Failed and skipped, I think, got added in here. Sorry, just skipped got added in this release. I'm talking about where we might say this doesn't need doing, and we've got a chance to kind of still move on, but not actually mark it's completed because this hasn't been done. I might want to skip insert, so that's new as well. Finally, if I want to just skip over the whole phase, we can also manually transition to another phase as well. So I can do that if needed. Again, as a super agent or hire, I can manually transition. Do you need to specify a reason and that gets captured? And that will manually transition to the very next phase. Or I can just transition back up again. So I can completely control the flow of that as a kind of override as a super agent or hire. So that was all the lifecycle enhancements. And then with that, to keep us rolling here, we got some improvements in automations to kind of work with that. So for example, a common scenario I've seen quite a lot is we want to do an automation. We want to do something when a task is failed or skipped, so we can then have some sort of action on that. So we would do that by saying on an event, but our entity is not a ticket, it is a task. And we want to trigger when it's modified. And then not just any modification, we want to be very specific in our if section. We want to say that if the status is changed from not equaling skipped to equaling skipped. So I'm very, very specific about what I want to trigger on there, only when the status is changed from something else to skipped, to give us that absolute granular control. And then the rest of the automation is as normal. We can take any of these actions upon that once it's been triggered. I think for this use case, you might create a ticket, probably overkill to create another ticket when something's skipped. It could be combined with another kind of filter to say if it's this particular kind of type of process, and if something gets skipped, I need to create another ticket to do something else in its place. So I do see use cases for that. I think more common might be notification. And as always, notification center, we can do Teams notifications or email notifications. So that could be like when I'm wanting an email to go to this person or this group of people when a task has been skipped. All right, so that was that one. And then the final thing, we're just about doing good for time. We're going back to tickets. Going to grab one I made earlier. Let's have a look at this printer one. Just going to kind of tease this one for you because we're going to do that deep dive very soon. But if I was to resolve this ticket and hit save, then my resolution process window pops up. And there's a bit of configuration here. We'll get into all that in a future session. We'll talk about, all the reporting of it, how you can automate off it, how you can automate it, how it works with life cycles, because you don't manually resolve a life cycle. Often it will resolve itself. All the implications into knowledge articles. We'll get into all of that in a future session. But we've added all these, this information that gets requested, when it gets resolved, and you experience that here in the agent portal. If you resolve it through Teams, you get the same experience through Teams, and you can control your resolution categories. These are the out-of-the-box values, but you could pick something else. The resolution note by default will get sent to the user that logged the ticket, the requester, so that they can kind of see what was the final action taken. We booted the PC. Classic resolution, fixes everything. Just give it a reboot. And you've got the internal resolution note as well, which won't go to the requester, but it's useful for that kind of internal process, problem management. Somebody can look through those, kind of look for themes, look for trends, that sort of thing as well. All right, so that is the end of the demo. Because I've kept it fairly light, we'll have a lot more time throughout the series to dig into all of those topics. Let me wrap up with the final slide. And here we are. Yeah, any questions? So we always want to allow time for questions. I just see something in the chat. I've missed that. Oh, that's fine. Yeah, if there are any questions, please put them in the chat. I see a hand gone up. That's great. Thank you. Do you want to come off mute?
Sure. Sorry, I just wanted to know, to confirm, as an when creating the life cycles, an end user, are they able to, they can approve it, right? They just can't manipulate the ticket, but we can require it where the end user approves something, a step?
Yeah, an end user cannot edit the lifecycle at all. They can't manipulate it, modify it, but an end user can be set as an approver. Yes. Anybody in Entra can be an approver. They don't need to have a ticket license assigned. They don't need to be in a ticket, have a role within ticket. Anybody can be an approver. Yeah, anyone with an Entra.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. That's what I wanted to confirm. Thank you.
No, great question. Thank you. Thanks for engaging. Jake, you got your hand up.
Good morning. Good afternoon, Jeff. Hey, I wanted to ask about the ability to change approvers and also manual transition. Is that limited to super users? You may have covered this, but I might have missed it.
Yeah, that's right. The role is actually called super agents.
Yeah,
it's high, because it's higher than an agent. Just we want to be clear on that. So yes, the role is called super agents, and the ability to modify the approver, add a new approval, add a new task, manually transition, that is limited to those super agents. So a regular agent will not be able to do those things.
Thank you.
Hopefully that's the answer you wanted to hear.
It is. Thanks.
Great. Thanks for the question. And Milan, you got your hand up as well.
Hey, Jeff.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, I just wanted to ask, we can automate the ticket based on the queries. Like, let's say, for example, on the category based, correct? Let's say a question comes for an HR. We can create a team and route the ticket directly to HR. If it is to the IT or to any other, let's say, ERP team, we can route it automatically to that.
Yeah, so the number of ways you can do that. First of all, you can have a different, if you want to work with email, you can have a different shared mailbox for each of those departments. So if someone emails, the IT one, it'll be straight assigned to IT. If they email the HR one, it'll still create a ticket, but it'll be assigned to HR and so on. So do it by email. If you want to do it via the virtual agent, then you can have them select. So if they are logging a ticket, it will ask them to select which department should this ticket go to, and they can choose that way. Or you could use some automation based on other kind of keywords or phrases in the ticket to auto assign as well.
Okay, and the other thing is, like, let's say if the ticket has been assigned to a group and we want to transfer the ticket to the next group, that can be done from the agent side itself, right?
Yeah, that's right. The team, the group, the assignment, they're just processing the tickets, so any agent can just change those to another team or group and get it reassigned. Yeah, and that could be a whole other department that you're reassigning to.
Caveat to be aware of there too, though, like if your security is set up in such a way where one agent can't see, or one team can't see another team's tickets, like it could go, it could just disappear and you lose visibility on it. Which may not be a bad thing. I just want to kind of throw that out there as well. Like yes, you can transfer from one team to another, but depending on your security, you may lose visibility of that ticket.
Yeah, if I reassign it to HR and I've not got access to HR's tickets, then it will just sort of disappear from my list.
That's fine. Yeah, because we transferred it once, it's been paid to the other agent, right? So it's fine for me.
It's a good thing. It's just a slightly confusing experience when you first do it because you wonder where it went. But that's why. Yeah, thanks, Justin.
Thanks, Jeff. Thank you.
No, great. Really appreciate all the questions. So look, we've got just 2 more minutes. So if there's any more questions, those of you that got my details can reach out. We've got the email address on the slide there as well. That's a new one. The old ones all still work. You've got old ones, whatever, to get hold of us, I hope by now. But if not, the email address on the slide will get. Yeah, go on, Milan.
I know that currently it's been a tenant-based solution, correct? Any chance your future that you guys gonna introduce any multi-tenant options for it?
I actually had a conversation about that this morning, and it's something that is absolutely on our radar. We're having a few customers ask about that. There are some hard limitations from Microsoft around interacting with bots in tenants and it being an external, even as a guest access, even as a multi-tenant B2B access. There are some limitations, so we need to figure out, what that means and how that works for us. But absolutely, we want to do that. Certainly on our radar. It's not yet, on our roadmap as a kind of confirm we're going to do it, but we're just looking into it, and we know we need to get there because lots of you have those sort of setups. We're hearing more of that.
Yeah, thank you.
No problem at all. So yeah, I was just saying, any more questions afterwards, please do get in touch. If you didn't want to ask it out loud, or you just ran out of time, or you thought of it afterwards, then please do email. And also, if there's something you want to see on Ticket Training Tuesdays, if there's a particular topic you would love us to cover, one that we did last season, but you want to see it again, like in more detail or different, or just what's changed, or a whole new topic, then please let us know. We're here to do what our audience wants, what our customer base wants. So please do let us know. We'd love to hear from you. And with that, the clock has ticked over to past. So I'm going to say thank you very much for joining. Really great to see you on the call. And yeah, we'll see you next week. Bye-bye, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.